Hey everybody, so I just wanted to give some instructions for the different types of research we're going to be doing here about pest control. So I know pest control was kind of the last topic that we discussed in class. So I wanted us to do a little bit of research about some common types of pests and diseases that lots of plants have to deal with, especially here in Kansas. So the research between all three of these assignments is pretty similar, so I'm going to give the instructions here in one video just to kind of go over them real quick. So let's look at the insect one first. So here we've got a variety of different insect pests. Again, we talk about how they're harmful to crops, usually just by consuming them. So you will pick out three different insects from this list to go ahead and give some information on. So the columns that you have for each piece of information that you're giving, first part here just asks, is it from the United States or is it invasive? And when we say invasive, we mean native outside of the USA. Was it something that we introduced usually by coming over on a foreign shipment of plants or some other type of source that could have brought it into the US? So from that point, the next part I want you to talk about is what types of plants does it damage? So give me a general listing about what types of plants these types of insects can damage. Some of them are a little bit more specific about what they go after. Some of them are more general. But give me an idea of what types of plants does your insect of choice damage. And then the last part, how does it damage them? Again, is it mostly consuming it? Does it make it prone to infection? Does it ruin the structural stability of it? If it's like a woody structure, is it kind of eating in through the structure and making it less stable so it's likely to fall over? Talk about how that insect is damaging to that. So again, that's the insect pest research one. Let's look here at the common weeds research one. So again, we've got a longer list this time. So these are all different types of weeds. So in this case, we mean plants that we basically don't want in our garden for one reason or another. So as we discussed in class, weeds can take away valuable resources from plants you're trying to grow. Some of the plants in this list are considered what we call noxious weeds, which means they're harmful to the environment on top of just being something that we generally try to pick out of the garden. So you'll be researching some of these. So what you're looking for, again, you're picking three and researching those three. So the first column, again, is where you're going to put the names for each one of the weeds that you're researching. So here in the first part, is it from the United States or is it invasive? Again, similar to the insects. List that part out. This next column here, what plant family does it belong to? And this one, a lot of the descriptions that you look up for these plants, it'll describe them. But otherwise, if you search in literally, so let's say we were saying Jimson weed, and we searched out Jimson weed plant family, usually it will tell you what plant family it belongs to. You can put the technical name if you want, which ends in ACE every time, like Poaceae would be like a technical name for the grass family. Or you can just put the grass family. Either way is fine. I just want you to get an idea of what it's related to. And then talk about why is this plant considered a weed? And I put some of these things here in parentheses for you to consider because these are a lot of the main causes for why something's considered a weed. Does it grow too fast? Is it something that's going to overtake the garden because it outcompetes your other plants? Is it hard to kill? Is it going to be something that comes back every year and it's really hard to get rid of? Does it make lots of seeds? Some of these create hundreds of seeds, or sometimes they're just very easy to spread. Again, if we think about dandelions, which are considered weeds, and you disperse them by blowing the seeds around in the air, is it something that spreads really quickly with lots of those little seeds? Does it host pests or diseases? Does it make it to where it's more likely that some of these nasty things are going to come into your garden? And finally, can it harm animals or people? Usually here we're talking about toxicity, especially to either people, especially younger people like toddlers that might eat something on accident, or if we're talking about livestock. So if it's in a field with cattle, will cows die if they end up consuming this particular plant? So again, take those things into consideration for the three weeds you pick. And then the last one that I want to look at here is the plant disease research. So again, kind of a smaller list, but these are diseases that can kill plants or damage the products that plants create, such as flowers or fruits. Some of them are caused by a fungus, some are spread by insects, and some infect plants in other ways. So it's up to you to kind of figure out the sources of these different types of diseases. You'll be researching these. So again, you're picking 3, just like with the other research projects. So again, this chart here gives you room to put 3 diseases down. Then I want you to talk about what types of plants does it damage. A lot of diseases are specific to a particular type of host. So again, you may not have a lot of plants that you could list in here. It just depends on the disease. Then for that next column, talk about how does it damage them. So what does this particular disease do that causes the plant to be harmed? Excuse me. And then finally here, what causes the disease to happen in a plant? So again, think about the source of it. What happens in the first place for a plant to get these conditions? Is it a fungal infection? Is it a viral infection? How does it spread between plants? So think about those pieces here for what you're researching on this last part. So again, if you have any questions about any of these sections, please feel free to reach out to me. You can email me, you can call me, or you can show up in a Zoom meeting for our science department office hours. So every weekday, Monday through Friday from 9:30 to 10:30 a.m., we will be hosting office hours for you to come in and talk with us over Zoom chat about any issues that you're having with your assignments. So again, please feel free to reach out.